I was working at a paper recycling plant. The pump blew out when we were trying to work on it. My uncle, probably one of my best friends I ever had, he was killed instantly in the accident. I was thrown 30 feet. I had fractures everywhere and burns about 40% of my body.
Our son was burnt in an explosion at our home, and he was burnt over about 60% of his body, and he spent up to 3 weeks in the burn center.
I was in a car accident May 26th of 2016. My car exploded upon impact, and I was sent to Lehigh Valley Hospital Burn Center. I was in a coma there for 3 weeks, and my first time being introduced to Liz was when I woke up from the coma.
Over the time that Leah was in a coma, we got to know Liz very well, and when Leah finally woke up, Liz was like a family member already.
The summer between my sophomore and junior year, I was on vacation with my best friend, and we were cooking oil to fry some shrimp. And when I took the lid off, there were flames, and I panicked and dropped the pot of oil, and it splattered on me. And then in my effort to get out of it, I ended up slipping and falling into it. I had what ended up being 40% of my body burned from the grease. So I was in the hospital 2 weeks, and I left the hospital in a wheelchair, and I couldn't wear shoes or jeans or really any kind of leggings. And prior to my burn injury, I was a college athlete, and that year was incredibly challenging to be amongst peers who are worried about school and parties, and to be worried about things like, are my toes curling up on me, or my scars itching me so much that I can't focus. A year after my injury, serendipitously, a neighbor let me know about a camp in my hometown that was designed specifically for kids who've had burn injuries. It was the very first place that I wore shorts and a swimsuit. It was the first time I ever met any other burn survivors. And I was just so moved. I cried the entire way home after camp and was just so impacted by the resilience and the challenges that young burn survivors face. So I went back to school that fall and decided this is what I wanted to do with my social work degree, was to work within the burn community and help burn survivors.
In Burn Support Group, it is not an easy thing to run. There's such a huge variety of issues to deal with, but Liz always made it look effortless. It always amazed me watching how graceful and smooth and gentle and inclusive she was, and yet still address everybody's needs in the room. It was always impressive to watch her work.
Liz really gave me tools not only to go forward with my injury, but life skills that are really important. The first time that I was going to look at my scars, I didn't want to look at them. I thought they were ugly. And she showed me hers first, which gave me comfort. And she would just talk about what my concerns were going forward as a 21-year-old, which was also really comforting because Liz was also injured at the age of 21.
When I look and listen to Leah talking on camera about Liz and what she's done, I'm so proud of both of them. Where my daughter is today, she is a confident, beautiful young woman. And even though our story is a tragedy, there have been so many positives in our life. She's gotten such support and encouragement from Liz, and that's a big reason of why she has healed not just her physical scars, but her soul and her passion. And I'm so grateful for that.
You get to a different outlook on life. You see that life is so fragile that it can change in a moment, which it had. But you still pick up and move on. And how you pick up and move on, she's like, the stencil. She wrote the book on it, no doubt in my mind.
One of the things I appreciated most about Liz was that she was always there. We met her very early on when Vinny was in a coma. She was so good with him, helping to relax him, joke with him. And not just Vinny, but also Vinny's brother and sister, and us, my husband and I. The fact that she included our whole family and validated our own suffering, and that it was significant and it was real and it was worth treating and addressing, is one of the reasons we were able to make it through.
Every single day I wake up now as a survivor, and that's because of Liz. She has changed my mindset on everything.
Every person that she's touched, she's brought us all from the ashes, and we've all risen. So the Phoenix Award is very fitting for her.
When I think about the concept of like rising from the ashes, it takes so many hands and open hearts to have any of us rise. And I think about my own story, I think about my friends, think about my husband, I think about my parents, my sister, my siblings. So much of what informed who I am as a social worker was actually what I learned as a patient from people in my life that were really loving and supporting me unconditionally. Working in the hospital was just so humbling. Just even being in this room with these amazing people, you guys, just from hearing your stories again, even though I walked beside you during them, it's just so humbling to like have a tiny bit of your story in my heart. And I think that's what one of the things that has been so powerful about my work there is being able to walk with people through incredibly difficult times, and being able to walk with people as they get their balance and not just return to life, but return to a new sense of themselves. This is my legacy. It's that the human spirit, this is what I carry with me, is the human spirit is amazing. And really having survivors like these four reaching back in and caring and helping support the program means whoever's a social worker there will have an easy job, because there's many, many hands helping to hold that community up.